Well, it looks like we're live. And we do this every Monday and Friday at 7 o'clock. I try to be on time. Let's see here. We need to get this up and going. And go back over here. Need to make sure this is my videos. Got so many tabs open, it's ridiculous. Content, and this is live. And we're on. Okay, streaming software. Yep. Sunday night. We're getting ready to come into the cold season, as I've told you, and work is starting to slow down, so I'll be doing more videos throughout the week. But as I'm working, I just don't have it in me to come home and stream. So normally we have Gary Sinclair who comes in first, but we'll see. He's been beat by Joe several times now. Let's see, we're posted up. If you want to join this meeting, you can find it posted on Stunt Hangar and at the bench, and you have to be logged in and a member, obviously. And just click on that link, and there'll be a link at the top that says join the Zoom meeting with an ID and a passcode. And if you just want to listen to it, you can dial in and listen to it. And there's a list of numbers by your local area: New York, Washington, Chicago, San Jose, Tacoma, Houston, so on and so forth. And if you can't find your local number, there's a link at the bottom, and you can find your local number. There's Gary Sinclair.
Yep.
You beat Joe. Yeah. So what's going on?
Not much. Getting colder though, isn't it?
It was pretty nipply this morning, yeah.
Yeah.
Had to wear my flannel shirt today in the shop.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, come on in and talk to us.
Time to come in.
I don't have anything, I don't have anything new or whatever.
Yeah.
As we get going here, I'm going to start working on steaming this warp out of this wing, but I want to get the meeting rolling. Hopefully I get that fixed this week. I have to make a jig to hold the wing while I steam it.
So what caused the war?
Wood,
Yeah.
just the way it is, it's a living thing. Kind of like on my spar. If I cut that spar, it'll warp like crazy. So you draw the spar out and you sand it to shape, and it doesn't warp. Well, that trailing edge is cut on my table saw. I take a 1-inch thick piece of 1-inch by 3 by 36 block, and I set the table saw up to mill it. Well, as you're ripping through it, you lose a few pieces because the wood goes sideways. Just the nature of the beast. I got a block I'm going to cut up. It's a 5-pound block of, 1 by 3 by 36, 5-pound. People,
Wow.
it's actually 4.5 pounds. People think that's sacrilegious, but if you're going to build light airplanes, you got to start with light wood. You just got to cut it up into leading and trailing edges. Because these leading and trailing edges start out as the plan. I don't know if you got a set of plans or not, but the plans are 9/16 thick by 1 inch tall on the leading edge, and the trailing edge is 5/8 by 5/8, so that you have something to sand, to get that nice round shape.
Oh yeah. It used to be you could get leading edges, trailing edges.
They were always baseball bats, and
Yeah.
they're not.
Yeah.
It's not set up for I-beam structure. Those leading and trailing edges. I'm gonna do. I've been wanting to always do an I-beam that's built up, a leading edge and a trailing edge that's built up, and someday I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be a little tricky, where I mold a piece of 16th into the leading edge shape, and then cap it on the back so it's a D tube, 1 inch. So it's just a little 1 inch, 1 inch with a 7/8 radius, and then glue the rib to it, and then put a cap strip on each one of the ribs in an I-beam. Remember, they're every 1.25 inches, and then cap it on the trailing edge. It's gonna be a lot of tinkering,
Yeah.
more like building a free flight airplane. But I think it will yield a nicer wing, where each rib has a 3/16 cap strip on it. Instead of, I use 1/8 inch wood to make the ribs. So I would use 16th-inch wood with a 3/16 cap strip on top, 3/16 by 16th inch. Half the wood, but more tinkering, more glue.
Yeah.
But I guaranteed it would
What?
be it'd be stiffer. It'd be really stiff. All them little sticks.
Now, styrofoam ribs for an I-beam, they probably wouldn't work, would they? You'd cut them out of styrofoam.
Styrofoam is not lighter than, okay. Let's look at it this way. Styrofoam is light, but it has no strength. So you have to put wood on it. And when you put the wood on it, you have to have the glue, so you end up heavier.
Yeah.
So it's just best to use light wood. And that's what Dan and I are working on, to try to get rid of the wood. But we just talked the other day, you just can't make carbon fiber and fiberglass light enough. There's too much glue, epoxy. What do we got for chat? Anything?
Let's see. Come on, turn around here so I can see him. Well, you got a new supporter,
Really?
Larry Fox. Larry Fox.
Welcome, Larry. Let's see.
Larry Fox 7279. This is
All right.
the after you went off, I guess someone come on because they went to sleep, forgot about the meeting, and then he was already pretty well gone when he got on. But
Who was it? Do you remember?
yeah, he's out in the western part on there. Oh, he's got that dog, and broke his plane that time. I
Dog
can't
who
think.
broke his plane.
Yeah, he had his plane. He's showing us his plane there, and I think
Oh, yeah, that's Gordon
uh,
Delaney.
Gordon. Yeah, he come on there just a little bit. Yeah, so yeah, he's going to be on. Forgot all about it, and he got on.
Gordon Delaney. Let's see here. we need to go here and see where we are as far as,
Yeah.
well, we just hold around 50 or 52 to 60 subscribers. It never goes up. Lost
Yeah,
16 too.
had a good group there last Monday when they,
Yeah.
yeah, we had several there. Four, well, 13, 14 of us, I think, one time.
The Brand Connect. I'm qualified for Brand Connect. That means I could advertise meaningless products.
Hmm.
You know, I just I can't do it.
Yeah.
I tell you, the guy you want to watch, well, there's a couple. Project Farm. He's in Missouri. If you want an honest opinion of what a product is like, watch him.
I did watch your last video you put up. I like that. That's good.
Well, you should be able to watch it. You're a member, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
You should have been able to see that.
Yeah, I saw it. Yes. It's nice. There we go.
Hello.
Oh, it's not iPad, it's Joe. Joe Lacey.
Yeah,
Are you learning anything?
I am.
Well, that's good.
I learn all the time. I watch a lot of your videos, learn a lot from you. And of course, every Sunday afternoon, I'm over building with Ty, and he's a wealth of information.
Yeah.
And there's all these little tips and tricks that are not written down anywhere. And, in my line of work, they call that tribal knowledge. And so you guys have a tribe and you have your tribal knowledge.
Well, let me tell you something. Back in the day, all this tribal knowledge that you're talking about was secret until I started posting videos for everyone to see. And now it's more or less coming out, you know.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. It's a great hobby. It really is. I mean, I absolutely love it. I try to do something on my airplanes every single day. Even on work days, there's something. If it's, tightening up wheel collars, whatever I've got to do, but I've got so many planes now where there's always something to do on one plane.
Well, since I went back to work, I've fallen down on my ethos hour a day. I'm just too tired after working now.
Right.
So, but I'll get back to it as the winter comes up. The work is going to slow down. Like today, I got off at 3 o'clock,
Mm,
and I have a little. I came home, took a nap. I have a little energy,
right.
so I'll start doing my hour a day regiment on video. And if you build with me 1 hour a day, you can build an airplane. They'll have it framed up in a month. That's 30 hours, no big
Right.
deal.
Yeah, I've got a few kits that I want to build. And yeah, the Thunderbolt. Ty told me to tell you that he has some parts for a Thunderbolt if you want to build another one, that he'll give you for free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I might consider it.
Okay. Yeah, I
Well,
hope he's watching. He tried to watch live last time. So I hope he's watching live tonight.
I have built, let's see, three, four, five. I built 6 Thunderbolts. And the funny story about it is Billy Warwich, who's the designer of that airplane, and I were standing on Circle 4. And he knew I built all these Thunderbolts because I built them before there was plans. I had taken a tape measure and made pictures and all that. And they laughed at me. What are you doing? I said, I'm going to build some of these anyway. he asked me while we're watching a Thunderbolt fly on Circle 4. He said, "You going to build another one?" I said, "No." He said, "How come?" He said, "I said it's a poor design." He about snapped his neck off.
Yeah. Yeah. I bet he did.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, the reason being that I feel that it's too much of a jug. It's a big bottle. You can when the engine quits, you can hear that thing sucking air when it slows down. So, and I didn't realize in '04 when I watched him fly it at the Worlds, it was impressive, but it was 53 ounces, and mine were nowhere near 53 ounces. It makes a big difference.
well, hello, Ed and Carl. I haven't met you. My name's Joe Lacey. I fly out of the Huntsville, Alabama club that Ty Marcucci's in. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, yeah, thank you, Joe. Good to see you on.
And I have been paying attention to what you're saying about the STEM stuff that you're doing. We'd like to grow we've got a very small club, only 8 people are in it, and the bad thing about Huntsville, Alabama, with the Space Center being here, we have a lot of RC clubs, we have rocket clubs, so we're competing with all those other activities. And I think I saw something from you about a foam board control line plane. Was that you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll show you in a second, but geez, too bad I didn't know you about 2 months ago. My neighbor was inducted into the Space Camp Hall of Fame.
Oh,
So I was
really?
down there. I was down there for 3, 4 days.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, listening and seeing everything and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, we would have, we if you would have had time, we would have definitely pulled you into the circle.
Well, I can't. I had ankle replacement 14 months ago, and on Tuesday, they're going back in to fix a loose piece.
Oh,
So Huntsville is where I tried to push all my walking and stuff, and
okay.
I said, I'm either going to get through this or I know I need to go back to the doctor.
Mm.
Well, as soon as I got back, I went to see the doc, and then, of course, he was on vacation for a month. Then it took a month to get another appointment. So now I'm finally Tuesday. So I'm just sitting in a chair and building and stuff.
Well, I hope that gets fixed soon so you can be back in the circle.
Yeah, thank you. And I thought I'd be flying at Brodex this year. That didn't happen. And but yeah, the foam board thing, it's pretty less expensive to get in, and but it's trying to get a group. I'm in a very small town, so it's kind of hard to get enough people that are really interested. So that's what I'm in the process of doing now. I'm trying to get middle schoolers more than anything else, and that. But I'll open it to anybody that's interested.
What
And
town are you in?
Bridgeport, West Virginia.
Okay, I lived in Harper's Ferry for four years
Oh,
back in the
okay.
90s. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just an hour south of Brodak
Okay.
and that. So, but yeah, was really had a good time at Huntsville. Neighbor, and it was really nice to support the neighbor and that. I got to say hi to Hoot Gibson and
Oh,
thanked
really?
him for all that he's doing for modeling and that. So
Did you know
it
that
was.
Hoot Gibson was in my squadron?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
What is
I
he doing
painted
for
his helmet
modeling?
back then.
What is he
Uh,
doing for modeling?
pardon me,
What
Joe.
is Hoot Gibson doing for modeling?
Oh, he's represents the AMA and that. And of course, if you look at what he did as a kid, once again, he started in model aviation. It's like Neil Armstrong, Burt Rutan,
Right.
and that. So,
No. Actually, I ordered this
Well, I
second
know he
one.
lives in Murfreesboro, and that's not far from here.
okay.
Background.
Hmm.
But yeah, the foam board, I'm looking at something um, half A size. And the one that I did make that I showed the other day, I made it a little bit too big. it flies nice and stuff, but I had to do some extra gluing and extra foam because of what I did. And so Bob Hunt sent me the PDF for the same plane, and it is just a little bit smaller than what I did, which would work out perfect. So if I can get enough interested, I'm trying to show them that you've got like 6 designs to pick from, and we need to make it fly. You need to make it fly, and let's see about doing some basic stunts. So I'm
so
talking with
loud.
high school and middle school teachers, the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I would be very interested to find out how that went. And any advice that you could give to us related to that.
Yeah, no problem. It's going to take a special group because there's so much sports activities and that. So you're going after who is in between sports, or who? No, this is what I'm really interested in. I'm not much of a sports player, so we'll see. And that,
Okay.
if you don't try, you'll never know.
Right.
And that, and I've got pretty good support from the schools so far, but this is all new to them.
Right.
And that, so you got to have the right STEM teacher that has the ambition and that. So, I mean, we did an FPG-9, which is that glider from the AMA, the foam glider.
Right.
And I had 5 schools, 5 students each come in, and Mark Radcliffe and I talked to them about model aviation and aviation as a career. And we did competitions on who could fly the FPG-9 the farthest, and we had some nice gifts for them. And boy, that really got them going and thinking and
Right.
talking. And you could see they went from just sitting and listening to, oh boy, how am I going to beat you?
Right.
And that. So, and I look at the RC car racing around here, it's still active
Right.
and stuff. And so, how do you get something going?
Yeah. I went to El Dorado at the last contest, the one in Arkansas. And what's
Okay.
interesting about that club is that they have their flying field set up. Number one, it's sponsored by the city. It's near a landfill, so you don't have to worry about,
Yeah.
noise and all of that and all those special rules. And they have 2 circles. They have one that's grass and they have one that's completely, asphalt. And they have a truck track, and they do rockets there. So they do it all right there in that
Right.
one location. So one feeds off the other,
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great idea. We have here in Huntsville, we got 2 RC clubs. If you count Decatur, it's 3. And we just have the one control line club. We also have a very active boat club. And so we fly at a parking lot near a high school stadium. And so we've got 2 circles out there and a windsock. But we're very close to where the boat pond is, and the boat draws big crowds. And they have some space over near the boats that's grass big enough for a circle. So I'm going to talk to them, and maybe we can. And I'm also contacting the RC clubs, because there's a lot of RC guys here in Huntsville that had no clue there was a control line club in the area.
Yeah. And they
So
used
maybe
to
we
fly
get some
them.
synergy there.
The one thing, the sports complex that they let me use, and they came to me this year, and for next year, he wants to tie it in just like what you're saying. He wants to get the carnival in town, which we're 50% so far they're committed to. He wants to have several craft shows going on, and then the aviation expo going on. And because number one, you'll have over 1,000 people there. And that he told me that one of his craft shows, he had 800 for reptiles. He had one of those Pokemon card shows or something like that, and he had 700. So you just never know who's going to notice what you're doing and ask
Right.
questions. So that's what we're working on. And I'm trying to get with the middle schools, and we have several options. On Friday, it's a Friday, Saturday event. On Friday, I'm trying to make it a STEM event for the schools to where they'll come in and have basically a competition between schools. Here's what you got to build, here's what you got to fly, or here's the pattern that you got to fly, which will be something real basic. So I'm trying to now see what are your interests so we can have that in place come sometime next year for the following school year. So who knows? I'm going to try. Whether it happens or not, time will tell.
Right. That sounds good. Yeah, I look
Yeah.
forward to hearing more about that.
Yeah. And then have you seen our my YouTube for the expo?
I saw the one where Bob Hunt was flying. Is that the one?
No, copy this down.
Okay.
On YouTube, search Carl Hopkins.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yeah. Carl Hopkins, WV for West Virginia.
Carl Hopkins,
WV for West Virginia.
WV.
Youth Aviation Expo 2024. And look at that when you have some time. It's about 3 minutes long and stuff.
Okay.
And that'll give you just a little bit of what we've been doing and stuff.
Okay.
But I'm pretty lucky with the aviation companies in the area, even though we're a small area. My aviation companies here put $1.2 billion into the state economy. So everybody
Boy, that's
asks me,
great.
what can we do for you?
Right.
And that. So when I started the company, they kind of laughed at me, but now everybody's asking, what can we do for you? And that, I've got probably up to about 18 technicians that we go anywhere in the world fixing airplanes.
Wow.
But I started with free flight at age 6. So we got to get it going. We don't have the hobby shops promoting stuff like that are out there. They're trying to stay in business. So whatever
Right.
we can do, and having Stunt Hangar certainly is a step in the right direction. So applause to Sparky for what he does.
Right.
And
Yeah, our hobby shop here is very strong, but mostly foam for the aircraft, and it's RC mainly. We do have flyers that we have by the push rod section because everybody needs push rods, and we have picked up a few people from those flyers, but lots of rocket stuff because this is Rocket City. And but they have a truck track, a dirt track behind the hobby shop where there's
yeah.
major competitions every weekend. So that stuff is really big.
Well, I mean, if you look at what I did rockets, I did slot cars, I did RC
Right.
cars a little bit and all that. So,
Right.
and I'd love to do
Huntsville
it
had a
again.
very active, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Good. Yeah, it's all right, Phil. Good seeing you, Phil.
Yeah, thank you. Huntsville had a very active control line club about 25 years ago. Well, about 30 years ago. So it could come back.
Yeah, Ty is one of the original founders.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
Ty's the one I went down there and met.
yeah, he told me about how it used to be. And just across the country, everything I've read about the history of control line has been very strong. I don't want to see it die. I absolutely love
No,
it.
I don't either.
And
But if Ed gets behind it, you don't have to worry about will it work. He'll make it work. I don't know how he does it, but he knows how to make it work.
it sounds like he's making progress for sure.
I don't think he knows it. Well, he's got help. He's got a wife that gets in there with him too. But if those
Oh
two
yeah,
get
and
behind it,
sister-in-law.
it'll work. It'll work. Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
your
thank you.
sister-in-law, but they got good people. Oh, Sparky, you look tired tonight, buddy. What's going on?
I don't know, just work. Running me to death. But I got off at 3 o'clock today.
Yeah, I heard that. I was listening to the phone while I was walking the dog. I thought 3 o'clock, Sparky, good grief.
Yeah, well, they're having some kind of apple butter festival there, and it was like a madhouse.
Oh, we got the barbecue festival here tomorrow, and it is a madhouse. They're expecting 30,000 people.
140,000 is what they're.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I'm wrong. Just a minute.
Well, you muted yourself.
Yeah.
Unmute. 75,000 people is what they're talking about having. They've already got Richard Childress area down there. That Richard Childress has already said park down at his place, and he's got buses coming in, the buses to the barbecue festival. I thought, thanks, Richard, but I won't be there this year. With all the sickness we've had in our family this year, 75,000 people. All he needs one bug and I'll catch it, or one of us will catch it. No.
Yeah. And I've been paranoid. A lot of people sick, and if I get sick, they'll cancel my surgery. So
Yeah.
I've been scared to do anything or go anywhere.
I know what you mean. You need to get that done. I'd like to see you up walking without hurting for a change. Shoot.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
And,
We gotta get some swine.
I've got a question for you guys.
Oh, that's right.
It's only made for the festival.
Bill, if you're gonna
Darn.
talk in the
Go ahead.
background, please mute yourself. That's
Oh,
why I'm
it's
okay. All right, what's the question, Joe?
Yeah. Can you guys see this handle? This was
Yeah.
given to me.
I had one just like it.
Okay. What is the deal with this handle?
Goes in
And
the
is
trash.
it good? Is it bad?
No, it goes in the trash.
Huh. Yeah, I thought
That's a
about
good-
modifying it so that it won't move. I could really, stick some.
The theory behind it is that when you go like that, it makes the lines neutralize themselves. Just take it and put it in the can, and you're better off.
Mm.
Take
Okay.
that and give it to somebody that has a handle collection, and they'll
Right.
love you for it. But don't try to use it. It's just a good way to tear up an airplane.
Okay.
and Joe, I sent you a message, Joe.
Yes, I did. That when you saw me, I was writing down the information. I appreciate
Okay.
that.
All righty.
There's
Yeah.
Mr. President.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a bunch of updates. I don't know if
Lay
you
'em
want to
on
do
us,
it
big
now,
boy.
or Sparky, if you want to wait till there are more people on. That's up to you.
Don't matter to me.
Okay. I'll wait a little bit, but it's good to see all you guys.
Always
Yeah.
good to see you.
Yeah.
We can ask how the golf game is in the meantime.
Golf game's pretty solid. I'm knocking at the door of my age. Last year I shot my age or better 4 times.
What was that, 80?
This year it's 80. Yes, good memory. So the problem with it is there's no room for error. It's
No.
kind of like flying at the Worlds or the Nats, and you got to add up all the scores, and you can't take anything away. But hey,
I gotta ask Mark, I'm sorry, but how many holes are we talking?
Yeah. Yeah, we were giving you benefit of the doubt of 18, but
I
a
get
lot of
it.
us were thinking 9.
Phil, you fit right in with the amount of respect I get in Pampa. No,
Well,
it's 18. It's 18. I played.
Well, if you're
I
shooting
played,
80 at 18 holes, you're doing well.
Yeah, I played high school and college golf.
Wow.
And matter of fact, I'll just take a real quick story. When I was 19, I worked at a steakhouse because it was owned by a golf course, or the other way around. And
But
if you
you
work,
weren't shooting 19 then.
wait a minute, got a couple of guys coming in here.
You weren't
John.
shooting 19 at 19 years old.
Yeah, that's a few years ago. But anyway, I played a couple of days with the pro, and he said to me, if you're willing to dedicate yourself to this, I'll take you under my wing. My dad was a pro, and we'll see what can happen. So I remember going home and talking to my dad. My dad said, My dad said, you know, you're good at a lot of things, but you're great at nothing. And that was true. Probably still is. And he said you'd have to give up everything you enjoy. And number one on the list was modeling. And I decided not to do it because I couldn't be that focused. And I think it was a good decision. I think it was a good decision. Did you guys, any of you who are Tampa members, did you get that?
Sure
Yeah.
did.
I think it's a really
Yes.
good issue. The guys
a
did
what?
the guys did a good job on it. It feels professional. But we did vote last July at the Nats where the executive council met to only offer it to the end of this year. It becomes there are a few reasons for it. One, we can't get everything in that we'd like to because of the cost. And it's a lot of work to do it. And the articles are limited by a number of words and things like that. And if you have it on the web, it just gives us so much more flexibility to have a better newsletter, a better stunt news, more contest results. There are things that are still missing in there. So I hope you got it. I think the guys really did a nice job. Photography was good. And if you're not a member, I would just encourage you. I think it's $3.50 a month if you wanted to pay monthly, but we don't like that. So it's been $40 forever, which really isn't very much. So I'll wait a couple more minutes on this because I got about 8 things, but I'll go through them quickly. Yes, sir.
Send me a copy of that.
Sure.
I still haven't gotten, I've gotten one so far.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on. I talked to him at several contests and I think he must have something wrong in the address because it must be going somewhere else because it's not coming here.
Maybe your postman likes model airplanes.
That woman don't like anything.
I'll send you one, Phil.
Thank you.
I get the
By
extra.
the way, just before anybody starts asking, I washed my hands and it doesn't show near as well. But if you could see the red, black, and blue, you'd know what I've been doing the last few days. I've actually been
Fingernails?
painting. Not my fingernails, humongous. And it actually looks pretty darn good. I'm really tickled with most of it. I've got a few little tiny places I got to go back and patch up where Sparky didn't tell me about the good tape in time. I'm gonna give him a hard time since he's not sitting there. Can you hear me, Sparky?
Yeah, I hear you.
It's no fun fussing at him if he can't hear me. No, I didn't know about the good tape in time, and a couple places it bled under, but I think I can scrape it off and fix it. It's just little tiny places, but I think it's gonna be a good looking old timer.
Good.
Then I got to get busy on the ombre, and that's a big son of a gun.
I think either Monday or the last time I was on, I gave you guys the Nats dates. And again, it's July 5th through the following Saturday.
Yeah.
And the following year, it's going to be later, which is fine with me. It'll be in July, but it won't be the first week.
Yeah.
And I think I told you that the AMA reserve funds is getting lower and lower because of people not renewing their memberships. And, there's a reason for that. There are probably many reasons for that. And we're trying to stay away from that model. So no one's panicking, but it seems like any kind of craft activity isn't as popular as it used to be. People would rather buy and throw out and buy rather than fix or build or show some creative capability.
That's true.
So,
That's very true.
look, I might as well get into this. I just want just a heads up on what's going on. Um, there's a really good thread on Sparky's uh, channel about team trials. We talked about it last week, so I don't want to rehash it, but there are a lot of people that feel it should be done at the Nats, and that's where a lot of the other SIGs have gone, and we're trying to do the same thing. It could either be before or after, but we can work it in because we already have the judges, we have everything we need, and it saves people a lot of money who are going to be flying to a second location. I'm getting the last year or 2 years ago, I formed the Nats committee. John Parrish is in charge of it. And that committee was my idea because I didn't want to have this mad rush right before the Nats to find out who was going to be the CD. It got crazy. I did it in 2019 because no one else would. Dave Tribble was in that situation. Denny Adamison was in that situation. I said, this is nuts. And a very well-known modeler said something to me that really made a lot of sense, except I couldn't comply with it. He said to me, if no one volunteers to run the Nats, maybe it's more important to you than it is to them. I said, ooh. And he's a pretty smart guy, and I think he's probably right. I couldn't do it. I couldn't just wave my hands and say, no, we're not going to have an Nats. So John Hill, who was ill last year, is going to be the Nats event director. John has communicated the last couple of days. It's iffy whether Frank Williams will be the assistant. So we're going to start looking for an assistant, as is John. And then the normal things of trying to find 10 judges. That's not a bad number, 10 or 12 judges, and runners and the things that you got to do to put that event on. Appearance judges also. So that's starting. I hope to have a Zoom meeting. I'm sure I'll have a Zoom meeting before the end of the year, probably between Thanksgiving and Christmas. We're also looking at the advantages and disadvantages, if you go to the Nats, of whether some of our events should be official events or not. There's a big advantage to us if they are, in terms of what we get back from the AMA and our footprint, because we have a big, we do, I think, free flight maybe is big, but we send more people to the Nats than just about anybody. But if it's unofficial events, they're not counted. So that's one reason, but I don't want it to be a huge financial burden on people who are now not paying a lot of money. So that's what I'm looking at. Everyone thinks it's a great idea, but I don't want to push people away. If you know the name Steve Moon, Steve and his brother Doug are at the Nats a lot. Doug has won it in the past. I don't think Steve has. And Steve has a son named Jake, who spends about half the year in the country and the other half, I think, in Singapore. And at the end of the Nats last year, he must have been smoking something because he came over to me and he said, I volunteered to create a new website. So once they revived me, I told him I thought that was a great idea. And I just communicated with Steve. He gave me the contact information. So I hope to tomorrow get a hold of him and of Jake and kind of set a timetable of what he can do and this and that. So we're all excited about that and the advantages to that. I don't know if you've been watching what Will Davis has been doing, among others, but particularly Will, putting these short, I think he says under 90-second reels. I guess I don't know what the term is, on YouTube, Facebook, wherever they can be. And he's getting just wonderful response. And the amazing thing is, first of all, he's not an officer in Pampa. He's just a good guy, like others are, like Sparky and others, that, and Ed, and you know who you are. But I think in the last 3 months, he's generated something like $500 for Pampa. Now, $500 is the same as maybe, I don't know, 12, 13 members. It's a lot easier to put a reel on the internet than it is to get 12 to 15 new members, because we're always looking for money, because money will bring you certain things that a lack of money won't. So that's going to happen very shortly. And anyone who's a Pampa member, you're going to be getting from me information about Pampa elections. And I should be getting that out by Monday or Tuesday. So it'll be sent out to every Pampa member. It'll show which of the 11 districts are up for election. And the election will be done before the end of the year. And the people that either are not being challenged, or those who get more votes, will start April 1st of 26. That's the way the calendar works. And it rotates every other year. One year it's the odd number districts, and the next year it's the even number. It's also my year to decide if I want to try another term or not. So you'll be getting that. And if you have any questions about it, holler. My email's on there. The basic biggest rule is you can only vote in your district. So if you have friends in other district, wish them the best. You just can't vote for, as opposed to me and probably the vice president. You can vote or not vote for us, and this will also jolt any people that may want to, get into the fracas and see what they could do with helping Pampa.
So I guess the Pampa site on Stunt Hangar is not going to come to fruition again, right?
Let me contact you tomorrow. Okay, because I've been putting this off for a while. So Sparky, I'll get with you. Are you going to be around tomorrow on the phone?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a call.
I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll be listening.
Okay.
Because I have created that spot. I'm looking for it now.
Yep.
And nothing's come of it.
You did that, I think, a couple of years ago. You and I spoke at Brodak. But
I had it up in 5 minutes. I've had this up. I took it down, and now I can't find it. So I guess it's down again. But it doesn't take me long,
All right.
Talk about I can do it in 5 minutes. It's ridiculous.
I can do nothing in 5 minutes, but let's chat tomorrow.
Okay.
I got to get something going, and I got to get it going with you. We just need more communication. So those are the kind of things that are going on. The Worlds, I believe, is in Australia next time. And I think the early voting looks like it may be France 2 years. It's every even year, which makes the team trials every other year. So the team that we're sending, I guess it's Australia. David and Orestes, and who's the third?
Paul Walker.
Paul, of course, Paul Walker. And coming in fourth was Joe Daly, so he'll be the alternate. I believe the way that works is that he doesn't go unless someone at the last minute can't make it. It's an expensive endeavor to be on the team unless you have the event in Muncie. And it's expensive for everybody else. But looking forward to that. So I think that's where I am. Oh, he's not on here yet. I hope he comes on, but another good thing that's happening is as this website gets developed, Bob Hunt is going to be like a consultant to some other people to help them with articles, to help them with photos. And he has some great ideas. He already has one Denny Adamison is working on, a step-by-step building. So I think you're going to see a lot of good things popping out the end of this year and next year. And I'll figure out if I'm going to be part of that or not, or we'll see how things go. Okay, thanks for your time, guys.
Thanks.
Can I say something? And Mark, this is Dave Iceman. I just want to say, we keep talking about the idea that everything is really expensive, and in today's world, everything's expensive, you know. And to in terms of the official events at the Nats, I mean, if it would become official, that would change the entry fee, correct? Or would
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Oh, it would.
It will, but there are some questions about who determines what the extra fee is. And I think it's Pampa. I don't think it's AMA. So, for example, there are people now that, let's say Joe, Joe Gober would be a good example. Since he flies in open, which is an official event, he doesn't have to pay to fly in an unofficial event. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that.
Nope.
Right.
You have to pay the $10.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think everybody has to pay the $10 to fly the unofficial event.
Well, that's not my specialty, so that's why I want to do some digging with AMA and John and a couple other people and just decide, is this in our best interest? Because we have a lot of people that enter those events.
Yeah.
And I think in some ways they could become more popular than PA. It's a simpler airplane.
Mm-hmm.
You're not expected to be maybe quite as good a pilot. I think it's a great event to get people into the businesses to fly all time. Simpler pattern, simpler airplane. There's Bob. So, I'll let you know about that, but again, I'm just the spokesman.
Right.
The guys on
I don't know. I fly here. I fly here in Los Angeles, and we got people, you know, and control lines always had this kind of a stereotype that they're, quote, lack of a better word, cheap. You know, I've always heard that from the very, very beginning of my times in control line. We got guys that won't come fly Stunt in Whittier because you have to pay $8 at the gate. They just won't come. And a lot of the elderly that fly there are on fixed incomes, including myself. So, but I have to leave room if I want to enjoy this event. There's got to be space for me to be able to do that, to spend the $8 or so on and so forth. Otherwise, money's going to keep. One of the reasons they keep this event alive is going to be money. Money's going to keep this event alive. It's going to be a central aspect of it. It needs funding. It does. So I don't know, what the answer, what the solution is to that, but there's got to be space for us to spend that kind of money to keep this event alive. And I don't think it's ever going to get to a point where it was. It's too bad. I don't think it's ever going to happen.
No.
It's headed, I don't know.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's headed is kind of scary.
If you look at RC, if you look at just about any part of modeling, it's down. I mean, it's
way down.
And so, Bob and I have talked about this a million times. It's not going to be what it is now. It'll never be what it used to be. But at the same time, I've always felt it's going to stay around as long as people care about it. And if people don't care about it, then it's going to go away real fast. So we're trying. We're trying.
Hey, Mark,
Yes, sir.
just what are we talking about for increase in entry fees for if those events were changed to official? And what is the overall advantage both to the contestant and to AMA and Pampa?
Can I field that one?
Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Hunt.
Well, if we were to make classic, old time, and nostalgia official events, Sparky, correct me if I'm wrong, that was about 30 or 40 people, right? Altogether? 30 or 40 entrants.
And all three, yeah, probably.
Yeah, close to.
Hang on a second. Hey, David, can you mute yourself while that
Oh,
noise?
yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so that would be that. Now, the other thing to consider, and I'm not really totally in favor of this part, is making intermediate and beginner, especially official events. I don't see the wisdom in an official beginner national champion. I don't see that. But we did make advanced a official event many years ago, and this worked out fine. So maybe intermediate. So if we were at intermediate, classic, old time, and nostalgia, it would put our footprint with AMA much larger than it is now. And that's how they look at these SIGs, how they're performing. And my understanding is they will not have to, people who enter those events would not have to pay any more than the fee they're already paying, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, $60 to enter, is that right?
Oh, hang on a second. Hey, Bud, you got something rustling back there. Can you shut that off? It's $15 for the contest, and you got to pay $10. No, it ended up being $25. That's what it was. $15 to the ladies at the desk on site, and $10 or $15 to the AMA.
All right. So my understanding is AMA is not going to require us to pay any more for those people. So what they're paying now will be what they're paying, is my understanding. So we could do this with very little impact financially to anyone who wants to enter those what are now unofficial events. Make them official and make our footprint at AMA much larger, almost twice as large.
Yeah, that's to us, that's a big advantage when you think about, $400,000 spent on the LPAD. If you don't have a pretty good footprint, and I know we share it with Pattern, but we bring more people than they do, and they wouldn't have spent that kind of money. And that's why PAMP is so important. That's why membership's important. Another thing I remember Bob bringing up is, right now we're giving out trophies that we pay for those unofficial events, but they're not, someone, let's say, who wins old time, that's not a national champion, right? That's we may call it that, but you're never going to find it in any record book because it's an unofficial event.
Right.
So if you're going to come and spend the money to come to Muncie and you want to take something home, wouldn't it be nice to have an official plaque?
And a title. Official title. Yeah.
As I understand it, Bob and Mark, it's not going to cost them any more money to enter, whether it's unofficial or we change it to official.
Until the greed sets in.
Until what?
The greed sets in. They see that it's a cash cow, then the fees go up.
Well,
Bob and I have heard mixed answers about that from people that should know. And it surprised us because these people said to us, no, it is not a big hit for them at all. That we're in control of some of that. So that's why I don't have any numbers. That's why we're talking about it. And then we're not going to make a decision until we know what we're doing. We know what the impact is.
Well, to finish what I was going to say, since monetarily it doesn't make a difference, it makes a huge difference to Pampa. I don't see a negative reason why we shouldn't do it. I would like to have you consider putting expert class in there too. Just because, well, you know me, Bob, I think the guys that aren't flying in the official Walker Cup that are experts are flying down in advanced class, and I think that's a slam against the advanced flyers. And I think that those guys should have the option of flying one or the other, either expert or open class for the Walker Cup.
Well, we tried expert at one time. We tried having an open class, and then one year we tried an expert class, and it went over like a lead balloon.
Well, I'm not saying have one or the other. I'm saying have them both.
We did have both, and it went over like a lead balloon. So
Then what happened the next year?
Let's clarify what we're looking at. We have event 322, which is open stunt, junior stunt, and senior stunt, right?
Right.
Okay. We have open stunt, we have advanced stunt. Those are the only official events at the Nationals in precision aerobatics. Open, junior, senior, and advanced are the only current official events.
Right. I understand that, Bob, and you know, it's too far for me to drive to the net, so I'm kind of probably not even shouldn't even be considered. But the one time I did fly at the Nats, I was flying against a bunch of experts as an advanced, and I didn't think.
Why did you enter advanced?
Because that's the class that I flew in. I mean,
yeah, you said you were flying against experts, though. Why didn't you just enter advanced?
I did enter advanced.
Well, you just said you were flying against experts.
Yeah, there was experts. The experts, experts could fly down in advanced.
So what's your solution to that? Get
advanced class. They could fly one or the other, advanced or open.
Yeah.
That then takes and you wind up. You'll have intermediate, or maybe not, but you'll have the Pampa classes, at least the top two Pampa classes, and the open classes competing. But the Pampa classes aren't competing for the Walker Cup.
No, they're not.
And the guys that are bottom sucking scum suckers in expert won't come down and jump on the advanced guys.
I kind of think I see what a little convoluted what you're trying to say, I think. But what you're saying is people who fly expert at a local level then go to the nationals and fly advanced.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, I don't get what you're saying. There's not much anything we can do about that.
And there's only a handful that do that, Bob. I don't think there's only a few. I believe.
I don't think that's a big issue.
Yeah, that's the only, and I'm not even sure it's a rule, Bob, but it seems that if someone wins advanced at the Nats, then the next year they need to move up.
They can't win. They can't stay in advanced once they've won. They have to move up.
But if someone is an expert flyer in somewhere else, or as an expert flyer, they may be intimidated to enter expert or open at the Nats, so they'll go down to the next class.
Well, I look at the scores of various contests, and I see at the bottom depending on the size of the contest, there's a percentage that are scoring in the upper 400s, low 500s, where the winners are up in the 540s, thereabouts. Those people that are flying in those lower, they can't compete with the guys that are better than them, that are flying higher. So at the Nats, they can fly better than most of the advanced class, though there are some advanced class flyers that are scoring in the 520s, 30s. They should be moved up. But nonetheless, the point is that it winds up, if you've got three guys that consistently fly in the 530 to 540 bracket, there's your first, second, and third place in advanced.
And the next year you're going to be Sands one of those people because they have to move up.
I know, but then the next batch say, and then the next batch,
those better flyers will have to be pushed up into open.
And the next batch of guys that are flying expert locally and go there and they're intimidated and say, "Oh, I'll fly advanced," and so it continues. It doesn't fix itself. It just
Well,
keeps continuing.
one of the problems, John, is that we don't have the Pampa classes on a local level are not official. They're just that's just
Right.
class. There's no rules from Pampa that say what you have to do. There's no rules that say you have to move up. We've seen a lot of people sandbagging in an intermediate for years and years, and then advancing for years and years at local level, and there's nothing in place to force them to move up to the next level. And I don't see how we could enforce that anyway. So people who are flying, let's say at a local level, in expert, but they're not winning ever in expert, they go to the Nats and they're allowed to fly advanced. If they're good enough, they're going to be ejected out of advanced when they win, and the whole thing will just move up year by year.
Well, it's a thorny issue to begin with, but you know, at least it can be made to work, and if you live long enough, if you're
Well, okay, so let's take it to another level then. Okay, let's suppose we make intermediate an official event. And everybody says, well, how can you even have an intermediate national champion? Well, if you look at radio control, they have sportsmen, they have expert, they have masters, and they have FAI. So they already have different classes of proficiency for
right.
a number of different classes. So let's say we make intermediate the class, and whoever wins that is the intermediate national champion. I mean, those people can go who are flying advanced at a local level and not winning. They could go and fly intermediate at the Nats. The same thing as the experts are doing, dropping down to advanced.
Yeah. As you can tell, I'm in favor of flying, if you're flying in Pampa classes, and flying in your class.
Well, yeah, but how are you going to enforce that?
Well, I think everybody that knows pretty much what everybody.
Not
is
everybody
getting,
knows. I disagree with that.
No,
Oh,
John, there's another issue here. First, I've thought about this. I've talked to Bob about it and others. Being an expert in a local contest,
being the big fish in a small pond.
well, it's that, but it's importantly about the judges. You know, at the Nats, we're looking by the book.
Right.
You know, and it's a very different thing to fly at the Nats with that pressure. But I will tell you one thing I've learned. There are guys that come there year after year after year, and their only goal is to make top 20. If they can make top 20, they feel great because they know the top 3 or 4, like in any sport or any activity, are the best. They're just the best. And so you have to pick either a lower target or you're going to have to practice a lot more. You know.
True enough.
See, one of the problems is on a local level, in some areas, they really do enforce it. That a person wins a couple of advanced contests, especially by a wide margin. There's a peer pressure. You know, at the trophy ceremony, there's usually a thing. There's a chant of "move up, move up, move up." So you know, everybody's got to. That person has to move up to the next class. He doesn't have to, but he's going to take a lot of grief if he doesn't. But there's no official rule that makes him have to.
The unspoken rule, Bob, on the East Coast back when I was flying was 3 wins in advance and you moved up. That was kind of
that may be in your section of the East Coast. It was not in our section of the East Coast.
Well, I seem to remember on the rules of saying something similar to
Every
that.
locality has a different way of handling this.
Yeah.
And we have to come up, if Pampa's this could be a real, you know, Pandora's box. If Pampa steps in, it says just what David was saying, that if on a local level, if you win 3 advanced contests, you have to move up to expert. How are we going to enforce that, and how are we going to keep records of it?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. It's like the honor system, really.
What's that?
Well,
It's kind of centered around the honor system, you know, it's the integrity of like, okay, you know, it's time to move up. You know, yeah, you're gonna be a bottom feeder in expert for a while. That's just what's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, but the honor system doesn't work in every locality because we've seen people who are perennial advanced flyers who keep winning and they never move up. I'm not going to name names. I can tell you a lot of names of people who keep winning in an intermediate and then won't move up to advanced because they're trophy hunters. So all they want is a trophy.
Yeah. And you can fly 530, 540 on a local level and go to the nets and pull a 490. I mean, there's the variation in scoring is just really, really big, you know.
Scores
So
don't mean anything.
yeah, it's not.
Scores are only
Yeah.
relative to what judge is judging. Back in 1964, does anybody know what the winning score was at the Nationals?
But
Yeah, probably about 500 or less.
Way
Or
less. 390. 390 was the Open National Champion.
That's
All
with
right,
Navy
so
judges, though.
scores are relative to who's judging.
That was with Navy judges, and they probably didn't understand what we're doing.
Maybe we could have a proficiency overseeing group or something that in each locality that says, well, if you're flying well enough, you should be an expert, or if you're flying an intermediate, you should be an advanced. That's going to get to be a real big brother kind of thing. I don't know if that's going to work or not.
impossible.
Well,
you once told me,
Bob. You once told me, Bob, that
What's that?
You once told me, Bob, that if you're not getting the scores you think, or you're not getting, you feel, learn to fly better, prove them to prove
Yeah,
it. So
but that's a flippant thing for me to say is, oh, just go out and fly better. Well, not everybody can do that, and so people want to enjoy flying a competition, and they want to feel like they're doing well. Well, I'm hoping we can find an answer to this, because we don't want to exclude anybody, and we certainly don't want anybody out there just trophy hunting and taking it away from guys who deserve to, to be a top advanced flyer for a short time in their area. Then they move up to expert. We got a lot of people who sandbag and just stay there, and then when they go to the nationals, they'll hopefully they'll win advanced and get moved up into expert at the national level. Then they're pretty much going to have to fly expert on a local level. If they made the top, if they made the top 20 or something.
John, off the record, just from judging a whole bunch of Nats recently, they're not that, I can't think of too many people flying advanced that should be an expert or open, but I can tell you there are a lot of people flying at open that shouldn't be there.
That's true.
They were probably better when they were younger.
Yeah.
Or the competition's good. But that's where they want to fly. And
that's where they want to fly. That's the point. If they want to enter open, there's nothing to keep them from entering that.
Yep.
Right.
So
you're going to get beat. You might as well get beat by the best.
I hear you.
Well, I think my flying days are over. I try to do anything over my head, I fall down.
As we get older, are we really looking at it as getting beat, or are we looking at it as doing the best we're capable of doing? I was once told by somebody, don't do the best possible, do your possible best. So the competition as we get older is not against the other people who we know are, younger and have better flyers. Competition is to see how long we can maintain a certain level in our own mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, Bob and I went up, I'm not knocking this at all. We had a good weekend up in Foxborough.
Rentham.
It was, north, what's it called? Northeast Stunt something. I forget what they're called.
New England Stunt Team, the Nest.
Yeah. And a wonderful time, really nice people. And they had, a stunt contest. And last week or 2 weeks ago, Golden State had their contest. Now it's just another contest, but the Golden State contest, it's almost a who's who that flies in it.
Oh, geez.
So when you compare what happened in a local contest in New England, it's not that these guys aren't good. They're good, but they're not in that group that flies at Golden State. So equating it becomes so difficult. And we've talked about, I think when I first got active in Pampa, I remember reading an editorial. I can't remember who was the president at that time, but his comments were about, okay, we tried expert at the Nats and didn't work. It just didn't go. I wasn't there. Maybe it was Don McClave. I can't remember who exactly it was. So anyway, I'll be glad to look at it.
Does anybody have any kind of issue with the intermediate becoming a official event?
I'm all
I
in
think it
favor
should
of
be.
that. I am all in favor of that.
Is anybody in favor of beginner becoming an official event?
It should be an official event. If advanced is an official event, then beginner and intermediate should be.
So you're talking about guys that go out there and fly. A lot of them fly a level lap and do a wing over and crash. And if only two of them show up and they both do that, they're regarded as national champions.
That's ridiculous.
That's a tough one, Bob.
For that particular, maybe, I don't know, beginner seems to be it seems to be almost gone or faded away completely. It
That's
seems
the
to
point.
be,
There's only a couple of people that ever show up for it anymore, and most of them can't do even. And the beginner pattern is a very simplified. It's not the same pattern. So there's the rationale right there in my mind. They're not flying the same pattern as we're flying in intermediate, advanced, or expert or open. So that would, in my mind, would discard that group from being official.
I tend to agree with you.
I hate to be.
Intermediate applies to pattern, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm not sure of the answer to that either. Bob, I agree with you, but I think there's something to be said for a family that's willing, or an adult that's willing to pay the money, come out to the Nats and compete, versus someone who either can't or doesn't want to, or whatever the situation is. If you've been to contests recently, you know how few people enter junior and intermediate. There are not many.
Well, we don't have junior at local contests. We have beginner.
Beginner. So, we don't want to push anyone away. It's not the time to do that.
No, what I'm saying though is somebody that goes out there and not even flying the official pattern, a very abbreviated, easy pattern, and they even can't get through that, and they do a wing over and crash or a loop and crash or whatever.
Yeah, I understand.
Is that, the intermediate guys are all doing the actual pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're on the path to moving up to advanced and then hopefully expert and FAI. That's how the whole thing was supposed to work when they brought it in advanced, and it has worked. It has worked on a local level too, because it used to be we had a lot of beginners, intermediate, a lot of fewer advanced and fewer experts, and now it's all top loaded because all the people who have come through the class system, intermediate, have gotten better and better, and no one is coming in to replace them. So those events have almost no entrance left in them.
Yep.
At a local level.
Yep. So
the class systems have worked.
Well, I think the way you want to do it will be just fine. It'd be better than what we have.
I mean, it's not my decision. That's my.
I know.
I have no.
What you're proposing?
Authority whatsoever in any of this.
Let me say
I think it's all a good. I think all of it's a good idea. But if you're gonna make old time classic and N30 official events, you better get more judges, because there'll be a lot more people show up. There'll be people show up to fly an official event that won't go to fly an unofficial event.
What a wonderful problem to have.
Yeah, it would be, but I'm telling you, we got to be ready for it. Well, I think it'd be 3 or 4 from around here that never got. I don't think they've ever been to the Nats that would go.
Maybe this is what we need to spur activity.
That's what I'm saying. I think
that'd be a problem that would be, a joy to have to solve. Is that if we need to find more judges, right now,
I think that would do it.
I don't know how many we had in. I think we had quite a few in old time, quite a few in classic. How many do they have in nostalgia? Sparky, how many?
2.
The 2, yeah.
In nostalgia, is only 2?
Oh, 2. No, I was talking about 2 judges.
No, I'm talking about how many entrants were in nostalgia.
Oh, N30. I can't remember. Probably there was 2 rows, about 15, maybe 18.
Okay, so 15, you had about the same amount or a little bit more. I think you had 18 or 19 in classic, and I think you probably had that many in old time. So add that up, and that almost equals what's up on the LPAD.
Yeah.
Just a thought, guys.
think that'd be a lot of fun, but it's going to make it interesting because a lot of the guys that are up on the LPAD would also fly it. Because I know I want to fly old time and then go to the LPAD and fly advanced. And
So you're saying that the reason why people don't support those, that they'll support it more if it's quote an official event, you'll have more people
I
showing
think so.
up. Yeah.
I think they will.
I've never heard anybody ever say, "Well, I don't go because it's not an official event." You might be correct.
There's a lot of difference between getting a trophy and getting a national trophy. It being a national class event.
National trophy. But I think for the bigger issue here is how it looks to AMA for Pampa. That's what we're looking at, is getting a bigger footprint. They'll add those numbers up and say, wow, control line stunt is really big, and we have to focus on that a little more.
Yeah.
Or at least the things they've done for us, like, Mark was very instrumental in getting that LPAD done. And at least they can look back and say, well, that was what money well spent, because we're seeing some growth in that area.
And if things don't work out, Bob and I are going to Singapore.
And Mark's paying.
Well, Phil, you made a good point about judges, and I'll tell you, I see 12 of them right here.
Yeah.
Oh, just went to 11.
Oops.
Oops.
Well, I tell you, I think that would be that's one time I would kind of enjoy stepping down and being the judge. It would be a lot of fun to have the problem of having too many people. It's been a long time. We used to do it. I remember when we used to have the problem, but God, it's been a long time. 20 years anyway.
On to another subject. I think we've beaten this one to death, but
yeah.
If you have anything else to say, go ahead.
Well, if you're doing it like you do presently doing it, I don't think old time and classic and those are being flown at the time that the Walker tryouts are you know what I mean, trying to get to. They're done earlier, and then the finals are done at the end towards the end of the contest, the qualifying, and then the top 20, and then 5. They're done at the end of the contest. So a person who was flying, say, in open, could very easily start out the week flying in old time or classic.
It's on Monday, right? It's on the day we do appearance point judging. That might be a problem if you get more entrants, because then it'll run into the time when you got to get over to the 180 building or whatever it's called now. To go, we don't have that much time, because people who are flying in classic, like Joe, and also fly in open, have to get their airplanes polished up and get over there. So that might cause problems. We might have to adjust the day we fly classic, old time, and these are all things that can be worked out, I think. But the concept of it, and again, let's keep our eye on the ball. The concept is to make AMA focus on us a little more, on Pampa and what we're doing and how we're growing. I think that's more important than any of this other stuff we talked about.
It's a good idea.
Makes sense to me.
So anyway, I'm in here late. Mark, have you talked any at all about what we had hoped to do with the new website?
I just started. I told them about Jake, and told them about the new website, a digital newsletter, which would be far better. I mean, what we have is beautiful, but as you know, Bob, you told me, it's very limiting, and it's also very expensive. This issue was not cheap. Yeah. And Dave asked me about it. Dave George asked me about it, and I gave him the okay. I said, this is the Nats issue. Go ahead.
So the 12 years that I edited that, we had a 100-page newsletter bi-monthly, and to fill that up was like pulling teeth. I mean, I was on the phone 60, 70, 80 hours a month trying to track down articles, right? So to having a dedicated newsletter bi-monthly on the website may or may not be a great idea. What may be a better idea is to have an ongoing newsletter where we just keep adding information as we get it. So one month you don't get a whole lot, at least you're adding something. You don't have to say, well, it's going to be 100 pages or 50 pages, because you have to then, if you commit to that, you got to fill it. But if you say, okay, well, each month we're going to add to the menu, we're going to have how-tos, we're going to have construction features, we're going to have personality profiles, history pieces, whatever, we can just keep adding to it. It becomes a very rich resource for anyone who becomes a Pampa member. It's a value-added reason to be a Pampa member.
I think what hurts it a little bit is when I joined in 2004, man, I read that thing from front to back to learn. And then Robert and Stunt, what was the other forum that was on? Leonard Newman's forum. They came on after that. Well, once they came on, everything you read in Stunt News is on there also. So it made Stunt News harder to fill because the information's already been out there.
That's not exactly true, Joe.
You don't think?
Not everything that was in Stunt News was on those forums, because we had dedicated how-to articles that had photos, and there were dedicated articles. You might have had threads where people talked about things, but it's not the same thing as a magazine.
You might be right, but we could be printing those today again. How many more people today have not read the articles on incidents and this and that and the other?
And that's a very important point, that we are going to go back, and it's all indexed, and we have everything. And this is something Jake was talking about. Go back and reprint the most popular or relevant articles again.
I think that's brilliant, in my opinion. Absolutely brilliant. I read that sucker from cover to cover. Y'all wanted to learn everything I could learn in 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everything. I read everything, and there was a lot of great articles in those. And it's out there today if you could go find it, but it's hard to find, I think.
Well, all the issues are on the Pampa website now.
I know.
Any Pampa member can go through every issue back to
a long time.
Yeah, into the 90s at least.
It needs an index, I think, to make it easier. But I think for this book right here, look, y'all, this is worth reading this time. If not to learn things, just the articles that were written and what they talked about, they did a fantastic job, in my opinion.
Yep.
It was worth reading. The Nat's part was awesome. They did a good job.
We don't all have your memory, though. You remember everything you ever read and remember how to do it.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but
one of the major problems with a magazine, I've been a magazine editor for 40 years of my life.
Long time.
All right. And one of the major problems with magazines is that it's like a wood burning stove. And a wood burning stove consumes a tremendous amount of material every month. And when it's gone, it's gone. You got to fill the stove again. All right. And that's very difficult to do. Everybody says, well, that's no problem. Just have people write articles. Yeah.
That don't work that easy.
Try that sometime.
It doesn't work that easy.
You ever notice how many articles I wrote, how many how-to articles I wrote for Stunt News? Sometimes 2 or 3 per issue, because
hundreds
we had big monster holes in the magazine where people who promised articles never sent them, or we never got anything worthy of printing. And I had to fill those holes at the last minute, sometimes with less than 2 hours, to write and populate it with photos and get it to Liz for layout. Plus, if new members who come in have missed previous issues, they're missing that information. If they know to go to the website and go back and search through the old issues, yeah, they get that information back again. But a lot of them don't even do that. So if we had a website where we just had continuous material and just keeps building up, it becomes a long newsletter.
It would not be
indexed, Bob. It needs to be indexed, though, so you can search through it easier.
There's so much relevant information out there today.
One of the things we couldn't do in Stunt News, I couldn't do in Flying Models when I was there, and I couldn't do at Model Aviation either, is if you had a control line stunt article, let's say, okay, and I published a lot of those, as all of you know, Billy Waridge's and just everybody's. One of the problems is budgeting. You can't just in those general interest magazines put everything about control line stunt. So if you had a control line stunt article, let's say every 2 or 3 months, it could only be nominally 2,500 words and 7 photos, or 3,000 words and 6 photos. There was a budget. Now, with a online newsletter or online, stunt news, we could have construction articles that are 30,000 words long with 300 photos, if somebody's willing to take photos as they go along and really show what's going on, how to build a model airplane and do a proper how-to. Can't do that in a magazine format. Even the one that you just got in the mail, you can't do that.
Chris Rigotti wrote a nice build model on his airplane he calls Agenda. There's
Agenda 2.
On Sparky's website, there's a lot of good pictures and information on how to build that airplane.
Right. And if we put that kind of thing in one chunk up on, or even in different episodes, put it up on the Pampa website. That would be a value added.
I 100% agree.
People to join Pampa.
I 100% agree.
There's also to me, there's a huge change in being a modeler, because it's so hard to find the materials that we need. I keep hearing people say you can't find balsa. Well, you can find balsa if you know where to look and if you're willing to pay for the light stuff. Is it cheap? No.
What's it cost to go to a contest?
Yeah.
How much does it actually cost for the wood for one stunt ship? How many people, except for Sparky, he builds one a week, but how many people build more than one stunt ship, or at the most 2 stunt ships a year? How many? How many? Raise your hands. How many? I don't. I'm working on several, but I only get one done a year. All right. So how much does it actually cost for the balsa wood for one airplane?
$60. I'll throw a number out. $60.
No.
Oh, it's way more than that.
You think it's more?
I go more like 100 a quarter.
You think it's 100 a quarter? That much?
To get good
Okay.
wood, sure.
So
Okay,
what's one hotel room cost?
What's a good dinner out cost? What does it cost to fill your gas tank twice?
If you said, okay, Joe Gilbert, you can have this Vortex airplane from such and such for $1,800, or I'll build one for $1,800. Bob Hunt, I'm not building you an airplane for $1,800. Not doing it. It's too much work and effort. And painting, Sparky, what do you got paint on the airplane just in dope? 100 a quarter?
No, more than that.
You can't paint one for 100 a quarter.
No, it's $55 a gallon for thinner, and that's the most important part. So,
All right, so what's it cost to build a stunt ship?
I think $750 minimum.
Okay, let's
That's my guess. What's your opinion?
What other motorsport in the world can you do for $750?
You can't guide go-karts.
Can't do it. Go-kart, the tires will cost you more than that.
Yeah,
now.
We're all spoiled and we're all cheap.
That's right.
Yeah.
Look, if I've been flying Rojet motors forever, and they said, well, it's a $400 motor. I don't care. We're going to spend $500 going to El Dorado if we spend a nickel to fly.
There you go.
Yeah, but when you guys are talking about building a stunt ship, are you talking about building one of your own design, or are you talking about building one from a kit?
It don't matter. Scratch build.
a
set of plans.
Well, a kit's going to be cheaper, right?
$300 for a kit.
No, it's not really cheaper.
You can buy all the wood to build your own airplane at least once over before buying a high-end kit. Because they're getting paid for packaging, they're getting paid for plans, they're getting paid for cutting and their time. If you go out and buy a set of plans and buy your balsa wood, it's going to be a lot cheaper than buying a kit.
Yeah, but if you count time, if you count time at $5 an hour, it ain't.
But you can't count your time.
I agree.
It's a hobby.
So you're saying that building a kit from scratch and ordering let's say a package of balsa wood and your paint and your covering and all that stuff is less expensive than buying $300 kit, and where you got the wood already.
Well, no, you're mixing things there, Carl. You said and the covering material and paint and all that. Well, that has to be bought for the kit too.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is when you buy the kit, you already have the wood.
I'll
Yeah,
ask
the
you this.
wood.
I'll say this carefully. If you
Okay.
could go buy an Excalibur profile kit for $200, Walter Underham built for 4 years ago, and if I said, Carl, I'll pay you $200 to build one, you wouldn't do it for 200, counting the bell cranks.
No.
That to sit, it's a lot of work to get that kit up to speed.
Right, I know, but I was talking about building one for yourself. 'Cause
But
you said
if time's not counted, you can do cheaper scratch build.
But look what we're talking about here. We're talking about hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars.
Nah,
Right,
it won't make $75 difference.
So
Probably.
what does it matter if you're spending $10 or $15 more or less to buy a kit or build? I wouldn't build your own airplane.
Yeah.
This is our hobby. This is our sport. This is what we do. And if you were going to go out and do anything else with a motor in it, it's going to cost you 50, 60 times as much.
That may be right, Bob. That's
Or
funny.
more.
50, 60 times.
especially you have to do it twice or 3 times over to get it right, correct?
And if anybody thinks composite's cheaper, you're sadly mistaken.
No, sir.
Well,
I called Richard
what-
Oliver one time. I said, Richard, I'm so sick of making mistakes building airplanes. I've made every mistake you can make building this airplane. And he laughed in my face. He said, Joe Gilbert, you ain't built enough airplanes to make every mistake yet.
And one thing you got to consider on a lot of kits that you can buy, they're expensive, but many of them, a lot of those parts are nothing more than what do you call it?
Patterns.
Trace around patterns, because the wood quality isn't
Yeah.
what would make a championship or a good competition airplane.
And the thing about wood, being able to find out, I mean, I'm going to take this to a little different direction if we can just for a minute about wood. We've all been bound by paradigms our whole life about modeling. What I mean by that is trees don't grow in increments of 1/16, 3/32, 1/8 inch, 3/16, half inch pieces. Those are cut at a mill because that's what typically in the past people have used to build model airplanes. There's nothing that says we have to use those thicknesses of wood to build model airplanes now because we have different techniques, molding and so forth. You can get away with thinner, heavier wood, which will make just as light an airplane. If you take a piece of 1/16 by 3 by 36, that's 5-pound stock, and a piece of 1/32 by 3 by 36, that's 10-pound stock, they weigh exactly the same. But the 1/32 has a tighter grain structure and will be stronger than a piece of punk 16th, and it'll soak up a lot less finish. So in the end result, you have a stronger, lighter airplane, and you can buy that heavier wood probably at a cheaper price. Now, of course, we have to then find a way to get it down to the sizes we want to use. So you can either order it that way, or you can get your club to get together. I went out and bought one of those Jet 1632 drum sanders, which holds nominally a 0.02 of an inch tolerance side to side and end to end on a piece of 3 by 36. So if your club goes out and buys one of those things, everybody could make their own custom thickness wood. We got to change our thinking, guys.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, my last twin I built had the fuselage built out of 1/16.
All my
And-
1/16.
And it handled the flight loads and everything just fine. It didn't handle the abrupt landing that it made.
Yeah.
Well, you're not supposed to make those.
Speaking of building, do we have an update on a Bearcat this week?
Not much, a little bit. Nice hat, Sparky.
Yeah, it's a good one. A buddy of mine gave it to me.
I've been on vacation up country.
Hear that thunder?
Oh, look at that.
This is where it was
Very
a
nice.
week or two ago, and I'm still patching and sanding and fixing little issues here and there. But the next thing I got to do is put the pilot in
You didn't cut its head off and turn it. How come?
it.
They don't look sideways when they're flying, they look straight ahead.
And then I did my main achievement the last week was I had all the graphics done. This is the CAD model, and I made these into patterns. I took them to the local Science by Tomorrow, and they made me this nice set of masks.
Very
So
nice.
Nice.
it was only $40, so I was pleased. And I got it right the first time. So
I like the way you said that. Only $40.
well, it's the same thing, Bob. I could spend many hours with a Frisket paper and a ruler and a light table, and I could cut these all out. They're
And a
mostly
sore
straight lines.
back. And a sore
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, and my eyes would go blind. But I take a file down to them, and they call me a few days later and say it's ready, and I go down and get it. So
I like
Anyway.
your way of doing it.
I'm getting ready to go to Vegas next week, so I've been doing a little bit of flying and debugging and stuff. So Bearcat's not going to make much progress till I get back from Vegas.
All right, so you're going to Vegas as well, Mark?
Yes,
Oh, good. I look forward to seeing you then,
yeah, I get to meet you.
along with John and Gordon.
Yep, we'll be there.
Wasn't the first day of KOI today?
Yes. Well,
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's practice day
Yeah.
today.
Practice day?
Yeah.
it's this weekend. I don't know what day it starts.
Starts tomorrow.
Yeah. Everybody's already down there. Yep.
Mhm. If you was there, Will would make you some liver mush for breakfast at 6 o'clock
Liver
tomorrow
mush.
morning.
Oh boy, that sounds delicious.
Oh gosh. Woo, son. I got
Man.
a
It
story.
tastes a lot better than it sounds.
I've heard
Oh,
We would have to.
no, I've heard from someone who works in a prison that those that are on death row can either be electrocuted or get a needle or given liver mush.
They all picked execution.
Hey, I just want to ask you guys a little feedback on this.
oh my
You
goodness.
know, Bob said thinking from a different perspective, and to me there's a real downside to electric power, and that is no one hears us.
That's true.
That's the way I found my first control line circle was
That's the way I found it
sound.
the first time.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm just curious what you think. If people knew where control line flyers were, do you think we'd have more people in the hobby?
Not really, because they're not interested.
No. I
That's
don't
my
think-
opinion.
But if you want to try it, you can either put a balloon on the propeller or a playing card, you know.
Get a playing card. I mean, how many Mickey Mouse of this crew wore out on their bicycle and their children?
How many thousands of dollars do we
Like what I always say is that, in the old days, we'd go to the field and start a motor up, and every kid in town would show up within a half an hour to watch. Now you go to a field and start a motor, and somebody calls the police, and the police come and ask you to stop because you're making too much noise.
That partly true.
What happened is we used to fly at the schools
Yeah.
and all that.
I'm not suggesting going back to glow. I'm just saying from 12 years at Triple Tree, among other places, we've had more people say, I didn't know you guys still do that.
Yeah.
And that is a crime.
Well,
That's
they've
an
been
absolute
saying that
crime.
since the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't know. In Tulsa years ago, Joe and I and Ben went and flew at a park in town. And we flew Fox 35s on Galaxies and Noblers and stuff, and people come and watched. I'd be interesting to make that same thing today, 15 years later, and see if the cops would show up or people would stop to watch. I don't know what would happen, quite honestly with you. I don't know.
When I was a kid,
Mail money ready.
we had a front yard that was big enough to fly half A's in, but it had to fly out over the street. There was no and we would fly. This is the God's honest truth. The cops would come and hold traffic back until we landed.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well,
Now, how far has it come,
we
No,
we got kicked out of ours because of noise, and so we wound up having to fly way out in the country where there wasn't anybody. And that's, my opinion, is what happened to our gaining more people in the hobby. Is
Yep.
we wound up flying at flying sites that are remote, people, what, even if we had noise, more guys flying gas, they can't hear it because we're, by design, we're out there where we won't be heard.
True.
So
Plus,
electric
the
is
kids
good
today
in the
have,
fact that you can go fly in the park now with electric, and you won't get a noise complaint.
kids today have a different reality than we had. We grew up, most of us, I'm looking around here, most of us grew up right after World War II. Mark maybe during World War II. But we had aviation in our face almost 24/7. We had the romance of the fighter pilot. We had war movies. We had airplanes climbing out over our houses, and we had private aviation around. Today, to the average kid, aviation is a speck in the sky, 40,000 feet in the air. And they just don't have the love of aviation. Now, what Ed is doing is trying to fix that. He's trying to get the aviation industry involved and to see that try to get kids involved in model aviation. So when they start looking for a job, they'll look towards aviation industry. And I think that's the only hope we have of a widespread bringing any new young people in. The only other thing we have is like what Will's doing, get grandfathers helping grandkids, or fathers who did it once they're a little older, helping their sons. We're not going to get kids coming. They're in a digital awareness. They have a different reality, and they're entitled to it. We had ours; they have theirs.
Sure, absolutely.
Well,
You know, they say that they don't even watch, back when the space shuttle started, everybody would come out to watch it land. The last space shuttle landing, there was nobody there to look at it. Nobody gives a shit about whether a rocket goes up or airplane lands or whatever. It's all old hack.
In 1969, I was 12, and I stayed up till they landed on the moon, dude. I wanted to see that so dang bad.
I did that too.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was the most magnificent thing to think what they did. And I'll just give you this. In 1927, a guy named Charles Lindbergh flew across ocean in an airplane called the Spirit of St. Louis. He flew 3,300 miles, left out of New York City, say 65 degrees. I could get my stuff and figure it, just say 65 degrees. And he landed doing 115 degrees. So you do the math on that, see how many degrees that is. And he changed headings every 60 minutes to degree 0.2 to get there. If they said, Bob Hunt, I'll give you $5 million if you'll take his airplane and fly it again from New York City to Paris with what he had on board, I'd say, oh, you're so kind. No, I would never do that.
If you gave me
What
$5
he
million,
did was remarkable. It's absolutely, positively impossible.
if you gave me $5 million, I wouldn't even take my model airplane to New York and fly it.
But what he did was remarkable, to fly 33 hours and change that 45 degrees heading and do every 60 minutes change 1.2 degree on a compass.
Yeah.
He didn't have a phone to tell you where the heading was. And they said, well, he didn't have any windows. Well, it was dark over the ocean. What are you going to look at?
Yeah.
Dude, those people were something. I'm telling you, they was something.
They
man.
stayed, you had to stay awake for 33 hours. I can't stay awake for 12 anymore.
That man was something.
Well,
Fly by the seat of your pants.
All them guys of the World War II generation were spectacular. I mean, gritty.
Well,
Spectacular.
look what they've done to history. Look what they've done to the. You look at your kid or grandkids' school books and see what they've done to Paul Revere's ride. Oh, he couldn't have done it the way they had it written. Nobody. That's not humanly possible. That's why we call it.
Well, one of the problems we're having as a group right here, and everybody who gets together from our generation or generations, but the problem we're having is we're looking at the problem through our eyes, the way we grew up and how we looked at it. And we're going to have to start looking at it through the eyes of the kids today and see what they need and see what's going to excite them. And I think what Ed's doing is the only way I see that this thing is going to get any traction at all is if aviation industry gets involved in this and makes it exciting for kids to do this. So they're trying to get into aviation careers. And
I think you're right.
More girls.
Well,
the
other thing that killed the market too is that when we were growing up, you would go down to the local hobby shop, wherever it might be. How many Cox airplanes did you see on the shelf? You know, hey, that looks interesting. I'm gonna try and fly that or whatever. Do you ever remember doing that?
Yeah, but the Cox airplanes roared more flying than more people than they got into it.
Right, and then now you don't even see them on the shelf. So when the kids now go into these hobby stores, they don't see it. So it's not a brain lock or a memory
Kids
lock.
aren't going into hobby stores. Kids are going into gaming stores.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well,
Well,
hobby stores are not
hobby-
existent. This
hobby stores are
Lewis is
gone.
about 1 million people. I made over 1 million people. There's 2 hobby shops.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hey, guys,
And
I
the
was
hobby
wondering,
shops don't have any airplane shit. They got beads and stuff.
Right.
guys, what Joe Lacey was showing there, that airplane he was showing.
Yeah.
Joe,
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. And by the way, I don't know everybody on here. So I'm Joe Lacey. I live in Huntsville, Alabama,
Hey, Joe.
Hi,
and
Joe.
I'm in the same club as Ty Marcucci's in.
Oh, I know
And
Ty.
so he and I build every Sunday afternoon. And this particular airplane that I'm about to show is a crash plane from someone in the club that they gave to me. He broke the nose off of it. And so I took it in there to Ty, and he says, "Oh, yeah, we can patch that up." And I'll kind of show you what he did.
Ty's got a lot of experience with crashed airplanes.
Okay,
Shame
so
on you.
let's see
Shameless.
if we can see this.
I
Yeah.
couldn't help it. That looks like an old Pathfinder.
All of this was
That's what it is.
tore up right through here and right through here. And so worked on that. And then I've recovered it with Monocoat. It's slightly different. This is, I don't know how old this plane is, but the other Monocoat's faded a little bit, it looks like, or either that or I didn't match the color very well. But anyway, this is a trainer, and I'm crashing a lot of planes. I'm a beginner. Anyway, the nose on this thing, let me make sure you guys can see it. It was broke off from here forward and real jagged through here. And so we had some wood about from here back. And so what Ty suggested was that we cut a wedge back here like this.
Yep.
What that did is that gave more surface area for the gluing.
Right.
And so then he created this piece. You know, we had the plans, of course, and it had the point that fit into the wedge. And so that gave it a lot of strength. Of course, he put the cheek on it. And I thought it came out pretty good. You know, we're not trying to make it pretty. We just wanted to get it to where I could fly it.
Yeah.
Joe, that's going to be an excellent trainer for you. That's a Pathfinder.
Yeah, the controls and everything else were great on this thing. Very smooth, good. And so I hated to see this one go. And I saw it and wasn't sure what he was going to do with it. And I say, "Hey, you want that plane? I'll take it." And he said, "Sure." He just gave it to me. So turned out real well. I
Outstanding.
can't wait to fly this thing.
Look for a flight report on that when you get it.
And
Yeah.
You patch the holes in the wingtips.
who's helping you? Who's your mentor?
I'm sorry, say again.
Who's helping you? Who's your mentor in this?
Ty Marcucci.
Oh, yeah, Ty. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be cool with Ty. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he said that he first met you. I can't remember what contest, but he said you were like 18 years old when he first met you.
I'm 19 now.
Yeah.
I thought you was 22. What are you talking about? I'm 13. I thought you was 22.
Matter of fact, Monday's my birthday. I'll be 78.
Excellent.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, right now,
congratulations, Bob. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just going to add when you guys were talking, I've got now when I'm outside with my airplanes and stuff, I've got about 6 to 8 neighborhood kids that come by and try to see what I'm up to today. So they on the weekend they'll come by and see if Mr. Ed's outside, and if they are, and I'm not doing anything, I'll go out there and try to make something fly for them.
As long as you have Wilbur supervising. Got to have Wilbur supervising, Mr. Ed.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's what they know me as. I'll be out in a mall or somewhere and somebody will say there's Mr. Ed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
great.
For you, Ed. Good for you.
John-
Wilbur.
John Miller,
Yeah.
on one of, and this was before I was joining the Zoom meetings, I've been watching you all and listening and trying to learn for about 2 years now. But John, you mentioned an airplane that Ty had, a purple, starts with an M. Gosh, I'm trying to remember.
Monado.
Monado, yes. Okay, so I have a picture of Ty with a Monado, and if I can learn how to share this screen here, I will share it.
Open it up on your computer. Follow
Okay.
these directions. Get it on your computer. Then go down to the button that says share. Push that button, and then click on the picture that you got open, and it'll share.
Okay. All right, let's see.
Excuse me.
There's Eskins.
David
Do
Eskin.
Icekins.
He's one of them California guys.
He's
He's
from
iPad.
all over. He's
Good
from
idea.
all over.
He was an East Coast guy before he was a California guy.
There you go.
Oh, yeah?
I can't figure out what
He got
perplexed him to go to
smart.
California.
A job.
That would have to be. That'd be a good job.
Hey,
It is so bloody expensive out there.
You're muted,
Mark-
David.
Mark
David's
Lumens
trying to
looks
say something.
bored.
He's muted.
Come on, Mark.
Hey, Mark Luman.
Do like this at
Hey,
least.
Mark,
Get
where
both
you
of
been,
them.
brother?
He froze.
He's froze.
He's having problems.
Oh.
Hey, do any of you know what an iMac
There he is.
competition is?
A what?
What?
An
iMac what?
Yeah, it's an RC event, IMAC.
Okay, is it regular RC planes or is it like full scale or?
It's scale aerobatics. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
The reason I'm asking is because I'm going to be going to one tomorrow down in Boulder City at the dry lake bed there. So I just was curious.
They're good sized models. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob, can I ask you a question on trim real quick?
Sure.
When I fly reverse props, I get better outsides, and when I fly normal rotation, I get better insides. What's the reason or the rationale for that? You know, the theory behind that? When I
Downwash.
reverse it, I get better outsides all the way, you know, squares and rounds.
Which way does it fly more equal?
I think it flies more equal in reverse. I do, but I got it on normal rotation right now because I got that Igor prop back on it. So I don't know.
I try thrust. You know, when I go to reverse pitch props, sometimes I have to add a little up thrust.
That's what Joe was saying too. I think was that. Yeah. Okay.
Not a lot, a little bit.
The kiss.
You
I don't know why.
In years past, everybody said, you know, all stunt ships back in the old days, especially Noblers, turned faster outsides than insides. And,
Right.
and a lot of that had to do with the thin push rods we were using. Even if they had guides, when you're doing an outside, there's a pull on the elevator push rod. And when you're doing an inside, it's a push. So it will bow a little bit, even if you have a guide.
Right.
And so I think that's a lot of the reason why the older airplanes did better outsides than insides, because that was a pull on the elevator horn rather than a push.
I got to add to that. I think the procession made it lighter on the lines and made the airplane turn easier too on outsides. That's a gut feeling. I can't
There we
prove.
go.
All right.
Yeah, that's Ty.
That's Ty, no doubt.
Yeah, there's his Monado, and he said that he tried to make it exactly like the guy who originally built it. It's that same purple, but he didn't get it exactly right. But he loves that airplane, and I remember John talking about it. I think you said that you saw it in the 90s.
I was there when it was new.
Okay.
We had a green one too.
That's
Yeah,
a
right
pretty
now
good
he's
size
working on
stabilizer.
in addition to helping me with several airplanes and helping me repair that Mustang Stunner, we're totally rebuilding the nose on that one. But he's working on a Juno. That's his new airplane he's working on.
Well done.
And he did repair that Colossus that he crashed at El Dorado.
Good. We're going to see you there in a week?
Well, I don't know yet.
Darn it.
Yeah, there's
Just say
I'm having
yes and
some,
show up.
my
Go ahead,
mother-in-law
push-
has
Go ahead and push the
Alzheimer's, and
red
so
and share button. There you go.
yeah.
I hope I get
Say
it.
hello to Ty for me when you see him.
Yeah.
I definitely will. He may be watching this. He doesn't join, but he does watch on YouTube sometimes.
Hi, Ty, if you're there.
Yes.
It's
But
hard
that
to push the buttons when your fingers like that. He'll
that
know what I'm talking
that
about.
outside maneuvers there's stuff
Oh.
going on there that on tethered flight that makes outsides a little lighter than insides, I think.
Yeah.
And I think there's some prop precession. I don't know what I'm talking about, but they do. If you ain't, they,
I'm talking about Ty's hooked finger.
yeah,
He'll know what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about outside maneuvers being tighter than insides.
You got
Ty
trigger
was a
finger?
chief in the Navy, and all chiefs in the Navy know what this means.
I'm telling you, pay attention.
Okay, I've got another picture that I want to show you of some planes
Yeah.
that I was unaware of that Ty has. Okay,
They're all
let's
light
see.
beamers too, right?
This is an A-bomb.
Yep.
Okay, he's got two of them, and one of them was signed. The wing is signed by the guy who designed it. And I thought they're really cool looking planes.
Is that a 40s plane, Bob? Do you know?
Probably late 40s, early 50s for sure.
That's what I
Who
would
did the-
think.
Who
I would
did the
think
A-bomb?
late
Was that
40s.
Nessie Band?
No, I don't. Nessband ain't right, is it, Bob?
I don't know who did
I
that.
don't think so. I can't. I don't remember.
There's Al
think
Rabe's
that's in the old
Bearcat inverted. BBQB inverted.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got some more pictures too. Let me pull those up. Let's see.
We got new blood here, guys.
I love it.
Okay. Here we go. This is called well, let me share it.
Oh, wait a minute. How old are you, Joe?
I am 62.
Oh, who said we are not getting any kids?
Gotta say youngin'.
Yeah, let's see. Let me get out of this. You guys, can you see that yet?
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
You gotta open it up with the
Right.
share button.
Right there it is. Okay. Yeah, this is a super duper. I think. is
Oh
what this
yeah,
one is.
Super
that's a
duper
high
duper.
wing. That's a high wing airplane. Got a low rudder. Super duper.
Yeah, there's see
Super
the
duper.
A-bomb to the left of it. That's the
Sure.
one that's
Yeah.
signed.
Yeah, that little looper thing. That's an old airplane. That might be.
Boy, I'd
I'm
love to have
betting
that kit.
47 or 8. It was early.
And it says Bob
Joe-
James on it. Bob James on the A-bomb.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, this super duper has a really old engine on it too. I forgot which
Yeah, it's
engine he's
a,
got.
it's a,
Super
Or-
I
cyclone.
didn't know.
O&R?
It has that
O&R probably.
ridge on the bottom of it
I
right
bet
there.
it's O&R.
Joe, look under the bench. I'd love to have that kit.
Venus. That's
Yeah.
a different
Yeah.
Venus than I have.
Yeah, that's Rod Ferris's Venus.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a lot of kits still, and a lot of balsa wood.
That boy's built some airplanes in his life. I'm telling you.
Yes. He told
No,
me
it's-
he would have 3 going at one time.
Mostly Sheik's designs.
We're talking about Marcucci. I was froze off for a minute, right?
Okay, here's another one of him. Let's see. Holding the auto gyro.
He had at least one
Oh,
of,
I built 2 of them. They're disasters.
They don't look very well.
I
Don't-
put mine had a stiff shaft on it, so I put some valve grinding compound on that burger, put the blade back on it, put it out in the front yard so it would swivel and wear it out, and went back out and check an hour, and it gusted and flew it upside down and tore it all to pieces, man. Killed it right there.
I think that one's called Otto the Gyro.
I think that's right.
Yes.
I built 2 of them rascals.
Yep.
They shake,
never
rattle,
even
and
seen
roll.
one.
I would name it rock and roll because they shake, rattle, and roll when you fly them.
My dad had the opportunity. He flew in a Kellett autogyro. A real one.
Did he really?
Yeah, he
A
did.
real one?
Full size one. Yeah.
Is that right? Oh my word. That's remarkable.
Yeah, I don't think it was a Pitcairn. I think it was a Kellett.
Well, they had both Pitcairn and
It's
Kelly.
like a Sig Mustang.
Yeah, that's a
Sure
Sig
does.
Mustang Stunter that I crashed. It was an old plane that somebody gave me that never flew, and I should have checked out the hinges on the
I should have. I love
and the
it.
aileron flaps. And so what happened was one of the flaps came loose and it was pointed straight down. And I was trying to, I moved over, I walked over to where there's some tall grass in the field I was flying in, hoping that the tall grass would kind of cushion it a little bit. But no, it was just coming around too fast, and it just tore that whole nose off to where the engine just flopped forward, and so
Yeah.
That
Ty
white
was able
airplane
to.
in the background, is that a semi-scale Ike or is that a galloping comedian?
It's an Ike.
It's an Ike, yeah.
That's an Ike. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I never
They're
seen
pretty
a
ones.
model of that except for scale.
Pretty good, huh, Joe?
Yes,
Yes.
very, very good. But that looks like a stunt ship Ike compared to a
Yeah.
scale Ike.
It is. He's got several airplanes. I wish I could do a panorama of his shop and then go inside his house and show you all the airplanes that he's got.
That boy's got stuff.
He loves to build. He calls himself a modeler, and he does not, doesn't say he's a, that's the word that he uses. He's very proud that he's a
He's a
modeler.
heck of a nice guy, too.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he tells a story of telling a woman one time that he was a modeler, and she thought that he was talking about a male model, like photographic model.
That ain't happening.
This is a really old airplane I'm about to show you. This was an ignition airplane, and let's see, get that share button again. Okay, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
No, you have to
Not
select
yet.
the picture.
Something. Its screen sharing is paused. What in the world? Let me try it again. Stop sharing. Share. Okay, share.
There it is.
Fireball.
Oh, my
Fireball.
goodness.
Fireball.
Yeah, it still had the wiring in it and everything from the ignition system.
There's a stiletto on the wall behind him.
And behind
Yes.
is
Those
a
fire babies
baby.
back in the corner there
There's
too.
Yeah.
Yes, he has
three
several fire
in the
babies.
corner.
And he
That's the
tells a
little brother.
story about Jim Walker. He and his friends were in the park, and they saw Jim Walker flying one of his planes, and he gave them some fire babies back when he was a kid.
Wow.
And this is in Lovelock, Nevada. That's where Ty grew up. Very small town in Nevada.
Walker used to fly 3 of those at once.
Yeah, he said he was flying 2 of them at the same time when they saw them. When
As many as 3 at once.
Wow, it's amazing.
Old
And
Bartone.
had throttle controls on one, and he had one mounted to a helmet on his head, and he put the bubble for the throttle in his mouth. He would squeeze the bubble to slow the airplane down so it wouldn't get ahead of the others.
Wow.
He was good, man. There's no doubt. He was a showman.
Showman.
Yeah, here's a picture of him holding the fire baby. Hold on.
Daddy, how dare you?
What did I
Let
do?
him have his 15 seconds of fame.
I did. He did.
There you go.
Yeah, look at that.
That's cute.
Yeah, the wings are so thin on those things. I mean,
It's just less than 1/8" ball, so I think.
Yeah, it is. And they're steamed and curved.
Uh-huh.
I think they're
Like
16
16
balsa. But the thing is, you could buy a new wing, or you could buy the parts. If I remember
Is that
correctly.
an Atwood on there, or is that okay? It looks like an Atwood.
I thought it was okay, but I wouldn't argue with you. You know
I
more.
don't know. It looks like it might be an early Herkimer.
When I was a little bitty bugger, there was one of those in May's drugstores, and Daddy got it and had a metal prop on it. So he took the metal prop off and put a plastic prop on it. And what I remember had a canopy and it had a little balloon in the canopy. And you fill that little balloon full of gas. And we flew that airplane when I was a little boy. And it would loop. You couldn't do a pattern, but it would loop and do a lousy, lazy 8. But it flew, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And the first ones had wooden fuselages, and the later ones had a plastic fuselage, is what I remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm going to show you a picture with an Atwood, and this is after I won my very first contest in 1949.
Oh, you're old.
And that's an Atwood on that.
Isn't that great?
And that looks very similar to the engine you just showed.
It probably was, Bob.
Yeah.
I got one at the hangar. I can go out and get it and show it to you sometime.
And you had stunt shoes then, didn't you?
Yeah, I had those white shoes. That's Bobby White shoes.
Yeah.
Never outgrew them.
I never grew up.
I'm still 13. I'm still 13.
Yeah. I got older, but I never grew up.
Hey guys, I'm going to end the stream. Appreciate you guys on YouTube watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And if you're not a member of Stunt Hangar, be sure to join Stunt Hangar, and you can find the link and join us on Mondays and Fridays at 7 o'clock Central Time.
There you
So
go.
we'll see you tomorrow. Fair winds, tight lines. See you.
Yeah. Good night, Sparky.
I'm going to sign off too
Thanks,
here. I'll
Mark.
see you guys
Night.
later.
See you later.
Okay.
Okay, we are over on YouTube.